Hey everyone, J-Rob Plays here, and today I'm bringing you a video going over the new trailer that was just released on the 15th of October from destinyrising's Twitter, and that post reads, "In the future, threats won't just come from Earth, entities beyond the stars are looming closer. Wherever they are, one thing is for certain, they are watching us now." And then it's going to go through a really cool and hype trailer, so I'm going to let you guys watch this here in its entirety.
You are the chosen children, one of a kind. Generations ago, you indulged in its gift. Basked in the glory this power brought.
But never did it speak of the price you would pay. Just as it can let you soar freely, so too can it drown you. You were tricked. I have traversed the spectrum of time, searching for that sole possibility. It is not over. It's not even the beginning of the end. No, it is but the end of the beginning. Therein lies the path to salvation.
And so as we see, the trailer opens up with us above the clouds, above the city of Haven, with this new kind of tree of life tree that they have, or the tree of silver wings, if that's what it is. And then it's going to go to the little girl speaker that we have, talking about how that they are one of a kind, and mentioning that we've indulged in this gift of the light, and we basked in the glory of its power. And then it goes to Omeko, who's got like a little bit of maybe a side villain story. She's not good, not quite bad. She's kind of doing her own thing. She's a little chaotic. And it talks about the price that she has to pay for being a light bearer. You know, like all the things, dying and living and dying and living, watching everybody around you die. It shows Estella and how powerful she is with her summons. Some really cool artwork showing the dragon come up and basically take out the entire group of Fallen in front of her. And then I'm going to pause it here, and we're going to talk about what we see with the Hive. So in the Hive, we're going to go back into the throne world, and now we've got Hive tomb ships coming up with what looks like the Oversoul, and with two wizards. And these two wizards look like Oryx's daughters, or they could be the wizards of Crota, but essentially it looks like the Oversoul throne basically from Crota. And people have mentioned that it is possible that we may see Crota in the game. And as it moves on, you start to see little different snippets of creatures that we fight in the game. So as the tree begins kind of growing, it starts to fade out, and then it's going to show just like Omeko using her super. And when Omeko comes back from using her super and Estella is done with her section, it goes in to show Saladin there fighting, and it goes to show Wolf fighting alongside what looks like Radagast, and they're going to be fighting Vex in this case. And then it starts to show the enemies. So I'm going to pause the Thrall here. We're going to move into what looks like just a normal Vex, and then here it starts to get different. So I can't tell if this is just a normal Hive wizard or if we're looking at a Hive knight. Maybe this is what Crota might look like in game, but then it goes to a Harpy, and then it goes to somebody who looks really familiar. So now we have green glowing eyes, and we have a mouth that it looks like we've seen before. And I almost want to say this is Savathun. Even though we don't have any mention that I can see just yet in the game of Savathun, it looks like they're kind of going down that route. Because as the picture gets more clear, it doesn't look like it's a knight. It looks more like another Hive wizard. And then what's really cool is it shows us in the cockpit with Wolf talking to the ghost. And that cockpit is super reminiscent of the trailer that we had during the final shape, where you have the Guardian with the ghost in almost the exact same position, taking off and doing the same kind of like light jump and going into the universe. Another thing to mention as we go back and look at some of the dialogue, one of the dialogues is talking about salvation, and the voice that you're getting in the trailer as you're listening to it, it's kind of a very similar tone and cadence as what we saw with the Witness. So some people think that therein lies the path salvation, means that this is the Witness speaking, and it's just one of the many voices of the Witness when it comes to the woman that was speaking beforehand. I also look at it as possibly the 9 speaking. We already have the 9 in the game. There's already been events going on with the 9, because if you look at Xur already has his hump. And so a lot of the things that shouldn't have happened yet have already happened. Somebody's already attacked Xur, and Xur's hunched over from the attack. Could it be Orin again? Could it be the same emissary story going on again? We don't know, because again, in this Destiny universe, I try to say this again in the comments of some of my other lore videos, that none of the things that you know about the current Destiny can apply to this Destiny, because all they have to do is just adjust the timeline, and this universe is its own thing. And so anything that you say can't be possible because it already happened at a certain point in Destiny's timeline is not true, because it hasn't happened in this timeline. And I always reference Elsie Bray and her situation with her lore, because she's come from infinite amount of different timelines. They didn't specify how many she's been through. She could have been through hundreds, she could have been through thousands, but essentially she's lived through timeline after timeline in which things have gone wrong, and it always ends up in the world ending, essentially. The Destiny 2 timeline was the first time that we actually succeeded, because in other timelines, she had to kill her own sister Anna Bray after being corrupted by the darkness. Eris Morn turned to the darkness and took over Savathun's powers. We had Zavala, for example, who was basically turned into a hermit, like an old brittle hermit, who then decided he was going to chase the Traveler and use Cabal technology to trap the Traveler and drag it back to Earth to protect it from the Witness during the next collapse. And again, all those different versions of the game are still available for us to go and delve into, as long as we can access that timeline technology. And it's very possible with some of the stuff that's going on with the Conductor right now that we'll be able to get that technology in the future and find a way to visit these other timelines. So they may already be going down that timeline with the whole Bind the Nine stuff, and Destiny Rising may also be going down that timeline too. So we may be seeing the beginnings of a 9 influence story. It looks like we're also going to get expansion on the Vex story within the Destiny Rising lore. And for sure, we're going to be going into kind of a Dark Below type of Crota, Savathun expansion. And like I said in the trailer, we do see the Iranuk, Halak characters that look like they're the daughters of Oryx. So Oryx may very well be in this game, which could be kind of cool to see Oryx. And if they maybe get the same voice actor who did the Heresy Oryx, that would be fantastic, because he did a great job. And I hope this would stoke a lot of new hype or bring people in for the first time to actually play the game. Because again, if you haven't played Destiny Rising and you're just a Destiny 2 player, you should definitely check it out. It's a whole lot of fun to play. Obviously, the graphics are not going to be better than Destiny 2, but the gameplay is definitely more enjoyable right now than the current state of Destiny 2, even after some of the fixes. So if you have any of your theories, go ahead and drop those comments down below. I'd be definitely interested to see kind of where you think they may be taking the game and some of the storylines of anything that you've picked up on. I still haven't really had the chance. I've been too busy to go through each of the characters' lore. And one of the silly things is that each character, for the most part, you have to run 20 strikes with, and it doesn't count like some of the high-end strikes. So like the Grandmaster stuff that I'm doing regularly doesn't seem to be counting for the characters. So you have to go back and just like run regular heroic strikes 20 times with each of the characters to unlock one of their lore entries that may be important to their story. So I have to do that on these characters before I start going through their lore profiles. But I do definitely intend on going through popular characters' lore and kind of figuring out where they may be going with their story from there. But that's it for this video. I just wanted to bring you the news that there is a new trailer out, and so that you can check it out and get hyped along with me. And I'll see everyone in the next video.